Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a minute, more like an entire year since I last posted on my YouTube, but your girl is about to be done with uni, and I wanted to put out some content. As some of you know, I recently started an educational consulting platform stroke company where I do educational and career consulting for high school students or undergrad students who are trying to apply to top universities all over the world, mostly Ivy League schools in the US. And throughout this time, since August, I've mentored and helped so many amazing students who've applied to universities from Georgia Tech to Rochester to Stanford, University of Pennsylvania, Yale, etc. And I've noticed that there are a lot of loopholes that I would want to kind of address through my high school mentorship program that I'll be talking to you guys about today. So basically, when you're trying to apply to a university, you're providing them information about who you are and who you've been for the 4 years that you've been in high school, right? And so it's important for you to start preparing for your application 4 years prior to sending that application. That means that your grades have been good, you've been on good terms with your teachers, so you'll get good letters of recommendation, you've had leadership positions, you're participating in extracurricular activities, etc., etc. So this video is going to be about my high school mentorship program. Obviously, anybody who's interested in the application process can attend, and all parents and instructors and teachers can attend. But I mostly want to focus on my Form 1 and 2 students, or even Form 3 students who, are thinking 2, 3, 4 years in advance and are trying to put themselves in the best position to get accepted into really good universities. So this is what the program is going to look like. And I'll start by telling you a little bit about my journey applying to Yale and many other schools. 4 years ago, wow, that sounds scary, but yeah, about 4 years ago, I didn't know that Yale existed until quite literally, until I got here is when I realized how much of a big deal it is to go to Yale, because nobody ever told us. I went to a public high school, as most of you know, and nobody ever came to our school. They'll go to Brook House and Brayside and all of these really fancy international schools, but the rest of us maybe we'd find out on the internet, but nobody ever mentored us and told us oh, you can apply to these awesome schools in the US that would give you great opportunities, and so this is what I'm trying to offer you even several years before your application process, because right now a lot of the students who are in touch with me are people who are applying this season, and the deadlines, some early decision deadlines have passed, but I want you guys to start preparing several years in advance, and that's why I'm emphasizing that this video and this mentorship program is for Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3 students, not strictly, but preferably. And so the first thing that I want to mentor you guys on is academics. You do need really good grades for you to get into certain schools, and it's a good thing for you to have more A's than C's on your transcript, and when you're applying to certain universities, they will ask you for your transcript. So I'm going to mentor you on the best time management and study skills that you can use, and obviously I'm going to be thinking about a Kenyan context. I know that a lot of people, some people who are not Kenyan might be following me and might reach out to me for mentorship, and I know a little bit about other education systems, say for example in Nigeria, but my primary focus will be the Kenyan system. The second thing that I'm going to be mentoring you guys on is participating in extracurricular activities, getting involved, and even coming up with extracurricular activities in your high school. And what I mean is, in our schools, we have the basic ones, like the St. John's Ambulance, Amnesty International, chess club, but I want us to get more creative, and that's why I want to sit with students one-on-one, understand what's going on in school. I know everything is online right now, and people are how do I do extracurriculars while I'm at home? this is what this mentorship program is going to help you figure out. And I've done that with so many of my students who I've been mentoring since August. So that's something really important. When you're applying to schools, they want to know that you have some sort of vision for yourself, career-wise or passion-wise. What problems do you want to solve in this world? And I kind of want us to pull away from the traditional extracurriculars that we have in school and make them more practical. Say for example, you live in a community where there's an issue with access to, I don't know, clean water, or there's an issue with literacy, and you've noticed that in your community a lot of people don't have basic arithmetic knowledge or writing skills. How about come up with a club where you go out, you mentor some people, and in that way you're solving a real life problem, and that's going to read so well in your resume or your application, because it shows that you're in tune with your world, and you want to solve real problems. And so that's what I mean by non-traditional extracurricular activities. The next thing that we're going to discuss, like I have expressed, I feel several times on my Instagram, is writing. I can't tell you guys how bugged I am by the fact that I didn't go to some fancy international school, because I feel like my writing would be so much better right now. And it's just a fact. It's a fact that our Kenyan high schools don't do the best, even our primary schools, we don't do the best job of exposing us to high quality writing, or at least not rigorously enough. And so what happens is when people are getting ready to apply to the schools and they're faced with all of these, the Common App essay, the supplemental essays, putting together a resume, there are all of these fundamental writing skills that we lack. And I think that it's just an issue of the education system and training, teachers specifically. So through this mentorship, I'm going to mainly be focusing on how to write about yourself and express your views, bring out your personality on paper in a way that's interesting to anybody who's going to be reading any kind of application. So stay tuned for that, because I think that's going to be really, really useful. Another thing that I'll be discussing is how to form great relationships with the teachers. I remember when I was in high school, I got bullied quite a bit because I was best friends with literally every teacher. Yes, I was a teacher's pet. I admit, but here I am. But I'm not saying I'm not saying that you need a balance. You need a balance of friends and teachers, live your best life. But it is very important to maintain a good relationship with your teachers in high school, and even the principal. And that means being active in your class, doing extra work sometimes, and not just for the sake of it, but because you genuinely care about your educational process. And also you're keeping in mind the fact that at the end of the day, you are going to need good letters of recommendations. So that is something that I will teach you during my high school mentorship program. I'm looking at my notes. Another thing that I will be teaching you guys about during my mentorship program is what high school enrichment programs, basically what international enrichment programs you could attend. So one really good one that I've actually helped one of my mentees apply to is the Yale Young African Scholars Program. So another thing that I'll be touching on during my high school mentorship program is how to improve your skills. We live in a time where if you want to learn how to code, you just go on the internet, and in a couple of months or weeks you will know. If you want to learn how to be a good videographer, if you want to learn Photoshop, etc. And we are sleeping on a lot of free resources that are available online. So I will teach you what resources to look into and how to use those skills to even turn yourself into a young entrepreneur, through freelancing, for example. So all of these are very useful things that we don't think about in high school, traditionally as Kenyan students, at least not during my time. Maybe the case is different right now, but I think that these are very useful useful things for you to know, and for you to include as part of your portfolio, as part of who you are, to improve your chances of getting picked when you're applying to these universities. So if you guys have any questions, post them in the comment section below, or go to or you can email me at hadithiconsulting@gmail.com. That's hadithiconsulting@gmail.com. Check out the website hadithiconsulting.com, and you can, you know, book your consultation as soon as tomorrow, quite literally. And share this with anybody who you think would find it useful. I care so much about, you know, high school students, just because that's a time where habits form and where people really get to know who they are, and it would be my absolute honor to like mentor you guys. And if you have any questions, again, please email me or DM Hadithi Consulting, Hadithi_consulting. That is the correct Instagram to DM me about your questions. I know a lot of you DM my personal account, and I'm not able to get to everybody. And also I get so many questions that it's overwhelming. So if you could just book a consultation session, then I could answer all of your questions. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's keeping safe during this time. Please, please, please take care of yourself, take care of your family, and yeah, and try your best to stay safe and stay sane. Thank you for watching, and again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Bye.